Walking Dead.
Yep, Walking Dead vlogs again. Okay, so today we're going to be doing the first 3 episodes of Season 6. It's been pretty busy for both of us. I've been involved with a production of Dracula around York Little Theater. T-shirt here. See? Dracula. Yeah, I was in a production of Dracula and all I got was this t-shirt. But it was a lot of fun. I got to play Renfield and I got to act out my inner Joker and everything. It was a lot of fun. But aside from that, yeah, Walking Dead Season 6. Wow. I've been really loving it. I mean, it has been. I like the steady pace of it and everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's been sort of like building up to stuff, and these past 6 episodes, we're only going to be focusing on the first 3 here because we can't cram 6 episodes in one. So we'll just do 3 here, and then the next 3 another time we get to do this. So anyway, the premiere episode. Okay, one thing I really loved about the premiere episode was the black and white flashbacks.
Yeah.
Because, okay, The Walking Dead has done flashbacks before, but they never color-coded them or anything. They never had them in black and white.
Well, maybe they have a specific meaning for something that's coming up.
Or, you know, or they're just paying homage to the comics because black and white and everything.
Yeah.
So, the only time they ever did the whole... I think the only other time that Walking Dead ever did the black and white gimmick was a while back when AMC did the whole Walking Dead in black and white marathon or something.
Right, yeah.
Or was it just the premiere episode?
I think they did.
I know that they did a black and white gimmick thing before, so, but I really liked it, and you know, not just the fact that it illustrates, hey, we're in a flashback now, but also again the whole paying homage to the comic and all that. I thought, and the first episode, I thought that okay, judging from the trailer that I saw, sorry, itch. Judging from the trailer I saw, I thought that one character Carter. Played by Ethan Embry, who, you know, he's one of those guys that you see a lot in a lot of things. I thought that he would have been more of a recurring character, judging from how the trailers showed him, you know? But I guess that didn't end up being the case. So, yeah. And, but yeah, I do like how he was one of the few people who was, sort of opposing Rick, because you can't have everyone agreeing with him and everything.
Yeah, you have to have.
And I mean, yes, the Rick-tatorship is back, but yeah, and you gotta have some people who are in opposition to it. And he seemed reasonable enough to not go along with Rick's plan, because their plan is to take a gigantic mega herd of zombies 20 miles out and hope that
They all follow.
they'll all wander off.
Right.
When, okay, for one, I mean, it is a good move in one aspect, but another aspect it's also kind of a dick move, because basically you're just taking, it's like the zombie herd equivalent of a deadbeat dad or mom taking the unwanted kids and here you go, they're your problem now. But it's pretty good that way. And you know, and then you're seeing what's happened with Deanna. You know, she's losing her grip on reality, sanity, leadership, and everything. And Rick is pretty much taking charge.
Yeah, well, that's generally what he does. He comes, takes charge.
No matter man or woman, he takes charge from everyone who opposes him.
Yeah, I guess.
Rick Grimes, 2016.
Yeah.
Forget Donald Trump or Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton or whoever Republican clowns or whatever. Rick Grimes all the way, or the governor. May he rest in peace.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the whole I like seeing how things from season 5 are still being addressed, like Father Gabriel not entirely being trusted because, well, he was kind of a dick. He was kind of a pussy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he had his reasons, of course, but he was still kind of being a pussy and also
still fighting his faith,
dick.
I guess, if that's what you want to call it.
Crisis of faith, or maybe just crisis of conscience and faith. I guess, I don't know. I still like how that wholly pans out, you know. And then of course you got the whole conflict between, you got the whole struggle between Glenn and Nicholas happening. You know, Glenn's still distrusting of Nicholas, and he's righteously so, because Nicholas has also been kind of a dick, and just
he's being ongoing.
But now Nicholas is sort of trying to redeem himself, which kind of pays off in some way. We'll get to that later, if you know what I mean. And and then you got Sasha having to still having. I mean, despite the fact she achieved some kind of peace by the end of season 5, she's still seemingly struggling, but also trying to deal with it too, instead of taking it out on other people and walkers and everything. And then of course you got Morgan, and thank criminy, Morgan is a main character this time around. I mean, he's getting featured more. His name is in the credits. Yeah. His name is in the credits now. Lenny James is in the credits, and I mean, I like. Oh man, just Morgan, and he's so friggin' cool. He's got the whole stick thing going for him. He's like a friggin' ninja master. He's like a mix of Darth Maul and Mace Windu, but with Walking Dead and a stick.
And a bow staff.
Yeah, my bow. He's about to deliver some whoop ass. How long was the first episode? It was like an hour and a half.
I think it was an hour and a half, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was an hour and a half. I like that whole extension. You know, it was providing that whole build up for the plan and everything. You know, them setting up all the roadblocks and all the work that they were doing to get all the walkers to follow in line with them. But we know it's gonna fuck up on them. We know it's gonna screw up. And then Rick does what he usually does. He has to have a big speech and everything, and you know it's something that you come to expect from a lot of almost any character in The Walking Dead who has a big character moment, especially Rick and everything when he addresses a huge crowd. But you know, I mean, he's trying to get people to fall in line, not just fall in line, but also to drive themselves to make sure that this plan works and everything. So, but then of course things start to screw up because, despite the fact everything's seemingly falling in place, you just got that one little cog in the machine that'll eventually just... Yeah, Carter gets bitten in the face. In the face! I mean, geez, he gets bitten in the face by a walker, and he's still screaming, and Rick has no choice but to silence him. So, there you go. And then, of course, you hear that honking all the way from Alexandria, and then, that's when things start to fall apart. And that's what leads into episode 2 of season 6, the town of Alexandria having to deal with starting to deal with the fallout. For one, the wolves are back.
The wolves are back with a vengeance, I guess you could say, because there was a shitload of gore.
Oh yeah, there definitely was. They were rampaging all over the place.
Which for me, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, like, to see that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they're just attacking all over the place, and the only reasonable ones, the only reasonable ones to handle it are, of course, the main characters. Right. I mean, you got Maggie, Morgan, surprisingly, who showed up.
Carol's still there.
Carol, Tara, Eugene, Rosita.
Eugene's probably not going to be much of a help in anything.
Well, he is sort of helping out with medical stuff. Yeah. Everyone, and surprisingly, Jesse. I like how Jesse was sort of coming into her own, fighting off the wolves and everything. She just goes kill crazy and just like.
Well, she finally figured out what she had to do, I guess.
Yeah. She. If only she'd done what she did with Pete earlier. Oh well.
Rick took care of it.
Yeah. Rick always takes care of everything.
Now Rick's going to take care of Jesse.
Yeah.
So he can sue her.
And then Carol, she does the smart thing of disguising herself as one of the wolves, And okay, and you know, it just makes me realize the wolves have the W scratched into their foreheads. They don't just have it dabbed on like Carol did. They have it scratched onto their foreheads. They kind of went all. Kind of makes me think. I mean, oh man, what? Oh man, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. Christoph Waltz character from Inglourious Bastards. Oh, forget. But you know what I mean. You know when Brad Pitt.
Same thing like Charlie Manson did that swastika carved in his.
Oh, okay.
That was.
Yeah, but
crazy.
The whole swastika carving and everything, and I mean I understand they sort of took that from the comics because you know in the comics, Alexandria was sort of briefly attacked by a group of scavengers, but then you know of course the show had to take this small group and turn it into something seemingly bigger than what it is. Yeah. I mean like with Shane and the hunters and everything. So, but I mean. It's kind of cool that they didn't go too much into the wolves because if they made this whole season of one gigantic ass conflict between Rick's group and the wolves, that just would have killed it.
Yeah, I like how they're breaking it apart and just
they turn into a little something small, you know. And
so far, I mean, I'm sure it'll become bigger.
Yeah, and of course, and of course, Hans Landa. I think that was Christoph Waltz's character in Inglourious Basterds, Hans Landa. Okay, sorry. Anyway, yeah, and then of course we find out how the whole the truck honking from Alexandria came from. Some guy crashed the truck, and Spencer, of course he's a big pussy too. Well, again, of course his comic character is kind of like that too, but still, and yeah. And then, you know, you got the whole Morgan, you don't have to kill people and everything.
Right.
I mean, it seems reasonable for Morgan to be like that, given how we see later on in the season. But, yeah, I think I like that whole interesting dynamic there. You know, Morgan trying to be a man of peace, but also understanding that he has to do terrible things in order to survive. I'm also glad he's not so crazy anymore.
Yeah. And he kind of lost it there for a little bit.
Yeah, I like how Rick and Morgan, you know, they're having more of a rapport with each other, you know, because, you know, they're guys who were, I mean, yes, they only had 2 episodes together, but they were special ones, you know, they had sort of like, you know, you got similarities between the two of them. Yeah. You got Rick. They both had sons. They're both single fathers now. They both lost their wives to the apocalypse, and they're both trying to make do. Only Rick had to deal with the burden of leadership.
Yeah.
Morgan had to deal with the burden of being alone, and eventually going insane. So you know, it's nice, interesting parallels. I like how they did that with. I like how they do that with Rick and Morgan, and I hope to see more of that later on because while I do like the character of Morgan as a whole. I mean, I like the comic version and the TV show version, but I hated how they just kind of killed him off too soon in the comic, you know.
Yeah.
And I hope they don't do that with him in the show because he's pretty friggin' cool. I mean, I know.
Well,
shows like The Walking Dead tend to kill off favorite characters and everything, but come on, it's Morgan. They've been teasing him around. They've been throwing these guest appearances left and right.
I think he's got a few more episodes.
And finally, he's a main character. Come on, don't kill him off, please.
Well, then I guess we would have to address the...
Hey, if they could keep Carol alive, you know, and turn her into one of the best characters in the show when she was one of the worst characters in the comics...
Yeah.
Then come on, can't we do the same for Morgan here? Let's do a male Carol here.
Yeah.
But then, so yeah, and that's the first and second episodes, and now the big one, the end. I mean, the third one. Oh, do we have? Okay, of course. Okay, so I also like how these first 3 episodes are sort of like they're not. It's a good thing that they didn't try to cram all this in, you know? If they try to cram all this stuff that happened in the first 3 episodes into one gigantic, massive episode, that just would. And I'm not talking about like a double-length episode, 2 hour or anything. I'm talking about if they just made it like in a standard hour, or even hour and a half. It would have just felt like they were cramming everything in together. You know, for these three the first episode introduces everything, and then the second episode deals. It's sort of like a part 2. You know, it's sort of like a part 2 that deals with everything on Alexandria's end.
Right.
You know, and then the third episode, it goes back to everyone that's out there trying to handle the herd. And you see Rick telling Glenn and Michonne that, hey, you keep going to Alexandria. You don't stop. If you have to leave anyone behind, you do that.
Right.
And I'm like, geez Louise, what the hell's wrong with you, Rick? But then again, you know, he's been through too much, and he knows that people are going to die anyway, so...
He already knows that you're going to lose somebody.
Yeah. And then, you got Michonne, Glenn, and Heath. Oh, yeah, Heath. Yeah, I'm glad that Heath finally made it into the comics. I thought he was going to be in last season, but kind of good that they saved him for this one now.
Yeah.
And Glenn, Michonne, and Heath, and they're trying to lead the others back to Alexandria, but of course, you know, they have to deal with the whole massive walker herd and everything. And despite the fact they were first not going to stop for anything, they decided to hold up in a pet store.
Yeah.
And then of course the herd is starting to notice, and they have to escape. And then of course, you know, some people get killed, some people get bitten, and Glenn and Nicholas have no choice but to try to distract the herd while the others make it out safely, and then they'll meet up with them later. And then I saw on some websites that this episode was sort of paying referencing from very early on in the first season when Glenn was walkie-talkieing Rick and everything, and says, "I'll meet up with you later, dumbass." Again, hey dumbass, you cozy in there?
Yeah.
Breaker one there, and I'm cozy in here. Yeah, there's a dead army guy. Over. Okay. And you know, it's just becoming a downer. It was starting to become really depressing because you're seeing all these people together. They're trying to make it home, but then of course, you know, the obvious happens, and they don't all make it. And especially when that one guy was saying, "Oh man, I'm not gonna make it because I got bit in the shoulder. I know I'm gonna die soon, and I just want to see my wife one last time before I die."
He has like a love note for her.
Yeah, and then Michonne writes on her arm, "You're gonna make it home." And then the obvious thing happens, and he gets killed because of the walkers dragging him down from the Iron Gate. And then I think and nice little shot of the note on the ground while he's getting eaten and everything. Yeah. I mean, jeez Louise. And then of course, and then we got the big moment. We got the big moment when Glenn and Nicholas, they try to find a building to burn down. It's already been burned down. And then they're getting trapped by walkers. And then they find themselves in an alleyway. And they're trying to kill as many walkers as possible. And then they climb up on top of the dumpster. And they're seeing all these walkers just crowding, just trying to get at him. And Nicholas, he's like going friggin', he's losing his mind. He's like, oh man, I'm flipping out, and then suddenly he's all calm, and then just, thank you.
Yeah.
And then of course, you know, Glenn falls down, and the zombies are seemingly crowding all over him, and they're seemingly eating something, and he's screaming.
Yeah.
I guess the music kind of drowns it out.
Yeah, the whole ending with that is...
Yeah.
Like, you can assume that Glenn is dead, but
we don't know for sure.
If Nicholas landed on top of him...
Yeah, there's that.
Nicholas's guts instead of Glenn's. But
yeah, but...
Still, you would have to figure with that many zombies...
How would he get out of there?
How would he get out?
Well, to be fair, Tyrese has had as many zombies on him before, and he got out of there relatively unscathed. So Glenn must have a shot, and plus he was near a dumpster. He could have crawled in there. But then again, I thought, in one shot, you know, where you're seeing the zombies coming at them, you see some stairs alongside the building, and I just thought, why didn't they just go up the stairs?
Yeah.
Why not just go up the stairs? You could have just hit on a roof. You'd have a better shot. You'd only have to deal with zombies one at a time as they're trying to climb up the stairs. That's it. But no. But
we could assume that Glenn is
Glenn is alive.
Dead.
Hey!
Just like Daryl's gonna die.
No! He's not gonna die! Daryl's not gonna die! If Daryl dies, we riot!
He's gonna die.
No!
That's gotta beat it.
No! You're beating a dead Glenn into the ground. Ah, damn it!
Oh yeah, of course. That's what I do.
No, that's Negan's job. That's Negan's job.
And he didn't appear yet either.
Negan? Well, yeah, it's announced that he's going to appear in the season 6 finale, and he's going to be played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan, comedian from Watchmen, and for Supernatural fans out there, John Winchester. Sorry, I'm not Supernatural buff like a lot of other people I know. I just know that, and yeah, Jeffrey. And just a little discussion on the casting of Negan. You know, I was kind of hoping that Henry Rollins, you know, the actor, the guy that Charlie Adler, you know, and Robert Kirkman based Negan off of, would have played Negan. That would have been fitting. And also, Henry Rollins portrayed a character similar to Negan before, Zahir in The Legend of Korra, because, you know, I mean, of course, Zahir is more, I guess you would say, age appropriate, at least for like kids, teenagers, and adults.
Yeah.
And Negan is more hardcore R-rated, you know. But you know, both Zahir and Negan use fear and psychological tactics, and they're very big, impactful villains, you know, that shake the heroes to their core. You know, it's just, I couldn't help but find, I mean, it's, if you look at them that way, you know, you find that they're very similar. And it would have been interesting if they were both played by the same actor, especially when one character was based on that said actor.
Right.
But, you know, that's what happens, and of course that doesn't mean that doesn't mean Henry Rollins being on the show couldn't happen.
Right.
If it does, that would be awesome too. But we'll see. And yeah, I'm excited to see Negan finally appearing on the show. You know, and portrayed by an actor who, well, is pretty much fitting for the part.
Right.
I mean, at first I was like, aww, but then I'm like, wait a minute, Jeffrey Dean Morgan is awesome, and he's perfect for it. So, yay!
So now we just need to wait and see what happens.
We need to wait another few months. We got, after like, you know, the next couple episodes after the one from yesterday, and we got that break and everything, and then of course Walking Dead comes back, airs the rest, and then he'll appear in the finale, and of course, oh, and it's cute that they decided to make it more ambiguous by not having Stephen Ewan's name in the credits, you know, after episode 3. Even when there were episodes that only focused on one character, they credited everyone else, even though they didn't appear, and but Stephen Ewan's name not in there.
Right.
I mean, okay, they've done this sort of gimmick before in previous seasons. I mean, not the first two, not the second season. You know, like when Shane and Dale got killed, the actors' names were still credited there. But
well, it just leads to the mystery.
But then you know, in season 3, they didn't start. In season 3, they didn't start crediting. They didn't start crediting Michael Rooker and David Morrissey's names until their first appearance. Merle! And season 4, they didn't start crediting David Morrissey's name until his first appearance, and then of course you got Scott Wilson. His name was being credited in the opening credits in season 4, and was it taken out after his character got killed?
I'm not sure.
I know they took out David Morse. I think
probably were.
I think Scott Wilson and David Morrissey's names were taken out as soon as their characters were killed, except of course for that one appearance at the end of season 4 when Herschel was in the flashback.
Yeah.
And then I think they took out Emily Kinney's and Chad Coleman's names after their characters were killed in season 5.
Right.
So, and plus, okay, granted, I didn't watch that episode, Talking Dead, when they focused on Glenn's possible death survival.
Right. No, I didn't watch it either.
But from what I heard, Glenn was not listed in the in memoriam segment.
That's what I heard.
So if he wasn't shown there, that means he could possibly still be alive. But then again, they kind of did the same thing.
You know, he could come back like in flashback episodes or...
No. Maybe. I mean, look, there's just some things. I mean, I understand that when it comes to adaptations, you take liberties with the source material. Walking Dead, over the past couple of years, is no different from that. But there's just some things you gotta stick to, okay? Otherwise, it doesn't seem to be as impactful, you know? I mean, because Glenn's death in the 100th issue of The Walking Dead was like a milestone, and it still is to this day. And it was done by Negan of all people, because Glenn, in all the mediums that he appears, whether it's TV show, comic, or video game, Glenn was sort of like he was sort of like that little ray of sunshine, you know, of hope amidst all this darkness. I mean, I understand that the show's version of Glenn is a bit more tougher, but he still tries to maintain hope in some way, in some aspects. So I think that by having, and with the 100th issue, with Negan killing Glenn, it made The Walking Dead more darker and bleaker than it was before. Because you're having this beloved character, this guy who's sort of created as a tribute to Short Round from Indiana Jones. You know, the little bundle of joy and everything. Okie dokie, Mr. Jones, hold on to your potatoes. Bring out your pitchforks and torches if you find that offensive. And to see that possibility of hope, that ray of light just get extinguished, you know, it just makes things more bleaker. Right. You know, people feel more what's the word I'm looking for? Not depressed, just lost. They feel more lost, you know? I mean, yeah. So I hope that we'll get to see something like that. Something done like that. Because they just can't substitute Glenn the way that they did Glenn's death in the comics with someone else. They just can't. Right. It wouldn't work. Right. I mean, I understand how, like, they did with the governor and his death and the prison attack. You know, because in the comics, you know, the governor, he killed Tyrese with Michonne's sword. And yes, Herschel still died in the prison. It's just, it was under a different manner. Right. But still, it still had the same impact. And again, like we mentioned in a previous vlog, Tyrese's death, the way it was handled in the show, was really a lot better than how it was in the comic. Because Tyrese was more at peace with himself. Yeah. Whereas in the comic, it was just like, here, Tyrese is a big, strong man. He suddenly got the shit kicked out of him, and then, boom, head chopped off. Right. But Tyrese, he's like, oh, man, I got to deal with the world. Oh, man, the world's a bad place, but I got to hold on somehow. Yeah. Oh, man, I'm dying. What am I going to do? I got to hold out hope. I know I'm dying. I'm going to die anyway, but I got to hold out hope that there's a better tomorrow after this, even though I'm probably not going to live to see it. Yeah, it was a lot better handled. Right. So, but again, Glenn's death, I'm just saying, if they're going to kill off Glenn, which I'm sure they're going to do, I mean, they can't keep holding this out. It's not like Sophia, okay? Right, yeah. It's not like Sophia. You can't pull a Sophia with Glenn. You can't pull a Sophia with Glenn where you play around whether he's dead or alive. You gotta reveal. I'm thinking they're probably going to reveal mid-season. I don't think they're going to reveal it the next week, or I don't think they're going to reveal it next week because there's 2 episodes left. And I didn't get to see the preview because Into the Badlands was airing. I mean, not that I'm dissing on Into the Badlands. It looks like a pretty good show. I didn't get to watch it, but come on, you always have those previews.
Yeah, you had to wait.
During the credits, you don't wait for the first commercial break of a brand new show to see the preview of the other show that was airing before it. Come on, that's not fair.
That's so they could suck you into watching Into the Badlands as well.
Yeah, I mean, not that we're dissing Into the Badlands. It's just, come on, just Show the preview. But yeah, I'm thinking like with in a way like with Sophia though, they'll probably reveal Glenn's fate mid-season.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, they were kind of ambiguous about Carol back in season 3. You know, was she dead after T-Dog got killed?
Right.
And they were playing around that with like an episode or 2, and then they revealed that she was alive. So, yeah. But, you know, but again, you know, if they didn't credit Glenn's death in memoriam, despite all the walkers surrounding him, but if they took out his name out of the credits, I mean, I think they're just playing around with the audience.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
sort of a smart move, but also kind of a dick move too.
Yeah.
But you know, they're not being. I don't think they're being assholes. I think they're just playing around with it, which is not. It's just sort of neat on their part.
People something to think about. That's all.
Yeah, yeah, but I would like to think that Glenn survived because, and plus Glenn has faced hordes of zombies crowd on him before.
Right.
I mean, again, when he was trapped in the revolving door in season 5, how did he get out of that?
I don't know.
They didn't show what happened.
They were in that cave or whatever they were in.
Well, actually, they did show Abraham and the others rescuing them, and then of course you got. Oh yeah, that other moment, the season 5 finale when Nicholas and Glenn got into a fight, and Glenn was having a bunch of zombies crowd over him, and somehow he gets out of that unscathed. How does that? I think if Glenn survives this, I think his luck would run out because the next sticky situation he finds himself in, he's gonna get killed, and by Negan probably. So please don't kill off Glenn yet. Don't kill off Glenn yet.
Yeah. Alright. We'll stick with that. Kill him off, but not yet.
Alright, that was filling in Walking Dead Vlog Season 6. Walking Dead Vlog of Season 6, Part 1, Episodes 1 through 3. Hopefully next time we'll get to do the next 3 episodes, and then steady as she goes, I guess.
That's right.
Alright, I'm Phil.
Dave.
Talk to you later.